I feel energy. I feel thunder. There is power beyond imagining. This must be the strongest Zoid of all. Thus I utter the ultimate name of power. Zoidzilla! Monarch of Machines! I am the Namer, guardian of the names of power. Before your world even existed, my people were an ancient race. Now they are gone, and only I remain, keeper of my people's history. Across the endless tracts of space have I traveled, to return to the planet of my birth, Zoidstar. Though my people perished long ago, and their cities were buried by the shifting sands, the machines remain. It is these that have brought me here to perform the last act of the Zoidarian race, the giving of the names of power. When my race was young and had an interest in the affairs of the galaxy, they built the machines, mighty engines of destruction which gave the power of life and death over the other creatures in the galaxy. The Zoidarians turned their gaze outward and laid waste to 1,000 star systems with their machines, their Zoids. But ruling a galaxy was not enough for the Zoidarians. It was not the conquests, but the battles they enjoyed. And though all intelligent life trembled in the shadow of the Zoids, my people battled on, machine against machine, Zoidarian against Zoidarian, in the further pursuit of glory. Zoidarian lives were needlessly sacrificed to the god of battle, and the race dwindled in numbers until the elders outlawed the Zoid duels. But they couldn't outlaw the Zoidarian love of combat. The Zoidarian pilots of the giant war machines were replaced by androids, and thus the heroic combat could continue without threat to Zoidarian life. Too late came the order. Too late to save a once mighty race from extinction, and now only I remain. Only I and the Zoids. And though my people created the Zoids, I have no power to control them. For the war machines have become the living embodiment of the Zoidarian thirst for combat, with lives and wills of their own. They exist only to fight, to ensure that their heroic combat lasts for all eternity. Now I stand on the sand-blasted surface of a world I used to call home, high on a rock, scanning the horizon for some sign of movement, knowing that out there, behind the sand clouds, lurk the deadliest war machines in the universe.
Neon skies whisper against steel roars. Mighty Zoidzilla power like a storm. On the hunt through Zoidzilla through the night, heroic blue guardians ready for the fight. Claws and lasers cutting through the sky. Planet Zoidstar, we ain't saying goodbye. Evil red mutants led by red orange might. Dark machines and shadows that bring the blight. Rumbling round and lightning in their wake. No surrenders, cause we make no mistake. Evil red mutants led by red orange might. Dark machines and shadows, they bring the blight. Rumbling round and lightning in their wake. No surrenders, cause we make no mistake. Zoids collide in the dead of the night. Metallic roars under bright starlight. Zoidstar's fury commands the fight. Blue versus red, who claim the right? Desolate wind echoes with our screams. Battle scars and broken dreams. Mechanized beasts tearing through the steel. Every strike's a story, every wound reveal. Onward charging engines of the brave. Blue guardians, we don't fear the grave. Circuit fires burning through the pain. To drive the red back, we claim our domain. Zoidzilla's roar shakes the core. Red or trembles won't stand no more. Electric skies, our spirits soar. Zoidstar's glory we've come for. Zoidzilla's roar shakes the core. Red or trembles won't stand no more. Electric skies, our spirits soar. Zoidstar's glory we've come for. Steel giants roar thunder in a land of dirt and wonder. Electric dreams of battle games. Robot lions play their name. Steel giants roar thunder in a land of dirt and wonder. Electric dreams of battle games. Robot lions play their names. Metal claws against the storm. Flashing lights, the beast is born. Metal soldiers fight unseen. Through a world of shattered dreams. Zoids arise, metal beasts awake. Fight the dark in a world that's fake. Zoids arise, you've got to break. Free from chains in this empty wake.
Devastating though these machines may be, they are the least powerful of their kind. Stronger and more savage are the Power Zoids. Giant machines whose very passing can topple mountains. Even now, a Power Zoid approaches.
Technology, Zoid revolution. Forestgojulas, Forestgojulas, critical Zoid mass. Forestgojulas, green iron and steel, attacking center the Zoids for the kill. Burning red eyes, Godzilla Zoid, no fear, towering tall and the fight is clear. But iron calm proves a Gojulas match, mechanized gorillas and a mass cash. Glowing red eyes, Godzilla Zoid, no fear, towering tall and the might is clear. Eight-blood Godzilla, no Zoid can match him. Forestgojulas tear Zoids them from limb. Slow but mighty, power and pride is healed. Forestgojulas stomps the battlefield. Forestgojulas, green iron and steel, attacking center the Zoids for the kill. Burning red eyes, Godzilla Zoid, no fear, towering tall and the might is clear. Forestgojulas, green iron and steel, attacking center the Zoids for the kill. Burning red eyes, Godzilla Zoid, no fear, towering tall and the might is clear.
Yes. No, Gojulas. Green iron and steel, attacking Xenobus Zoids for the kill.
The Blue Zoids have only one hope now. Their leader, mighty Zoidzilla, must join the fray. For only through Zoidzilla's matchless strength can the Blue Zoids hope to survive. It is the never-ending battle between Red and Blue Zoids. It has been waged for centuries. It rages still, with no end in sight.
The Namer, last of the Zoidarians, guardian of the names of power, keeper of the legend of heroic combat, have spoken.